So we're doing some Gurdjieff today. Life is real, only then when I am, and we're on page 139. When a man really sleeps normally, his attention, by the quality of which the so to say graduation of the difference between the waking state and sleep is conditioned, also sleeps. That is to say, his attention is, according to the law conformable inherencies in him, stored up with corresponding force for the subsequent necessary incentive manifestations, but when owing to some disharmony in the general functioning of a man's organism, most often to a non-normal expenditure in his waking state of law conformability, accumulated energy, this part of the general psyche of his waking state is not capable of normally actualizing himself during sleep. Then, from the associations flowing in him, constanted with his attention, so to say, a bit here and a bit there, these famous quote-unquote dreams are obtained, that is to say, human foolishness. Secondly, a normal man can intentionally divide his whole attention, of which I have already spoken, into 2 or even 3 separate parts, and concentrate each of these on various independent objects inside or outside himself. It will be very useful, in my opinion, for the productivity of the further work in this newly formed group of ours, if now, just before explaining to you the procedure of the second assisting exercise, I will tell you also that when I had drawn up the detailed plan for my institute mentioned here many times, I was then already convinced of the impossibility of exactly complaining and fully formulating in words the various fine points and procedures in any intentional experiencings and exercises for the purpose of self-perception, and knowing at the same time the existence among our remote ancestors of a special method which was then called the principle of illustrative inoculation, for the purpose of better taking in new information. I therefore introduced this method also in the general program, and frequently employed in certain circumstances, and now, in view of the fact that I intend, after the work has begun in this newly formed group of followers of my ideas, to employ this method, I therefore consider it expedient and opportune for the elucidations of the procedure of the second assisting exercise to help partly to this, and in my opinion only true and useful method for such cases.